Hi, everybody. This is the Heroes of Jordoba, our 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons group. And so we're here with Alla Fedorova. Let me click everybody's picture through so they come. Alla Fedorova and Emily. Wave hello, Emily. Ian and Gabe. And that's us, the Jordoba bunch, as we've been called. All right. So last time, and you guys can help me through this because it's a little tangled. Because last time was a pretty wild session. So you were running out of the ancient Temenoan pyramid because it was collapsing as a result of a massive arcane power transfer initiated by Ian while he was being possessed by the soul of Bratoka, and that led to the Indiana Jones style flight from the pyramid. The only way out turned out to be a planar gate into the city of Brass, where you met Ian's very low caliber deity hiding out from demons, who sent you guys off to and Saint Muriel had assembled a couple of angels, but it's sort of like a first level party of angels there. And so in order to help one of the angels from basically sort of dissolving, you guys have to stop an earthquake that's coming up in 14 days. And in order to stop the earthquake, you had to go to the elemental plane of Earth, where you're going to stop the earthquake. And I forget how it was that you also ended up in the middle of Helm's Deep, but
that was just sort of an accident. Oh, they summoned Muriel.
Right, that's right.
So, right, and we just went with her because we were just there.
Yeah,
it was. And then Sweetburns disappeared the tavern and left us there.
Yeah, right. So now you guys, okay. So and then you escaped by clumsily fighting your way up a large stone chimney that got out of the fortress that was under attack in order to help decoy everybody who was defending it to get out there. And you went to the place where you were supposed to get the ship to the elemental plane of Earth. And later than expected, but still sort of on time, it showed up. And it was this gigantic metal sandworm type of thing that came up. And so you sort of, with eyes like saucers, you watch this thing come up out of the earth and then open the great big mouth. And then out of the mouth came a whole bunch of 3-foot tall people wearing sand-colored robes, running out actively, and they sort of fan out and then start waving you guys to come over to the giant metal worm mouth ship. What do you do?
Board the ship.
Okay, so everybody heads on over, and
Dane is going to squee with excitement, and then he's going to board the ship.
Okay,
that's awesome.
So do we enter through the mouth?
Yep, that's what everyone seems to be doing.
Wicked.
Okay. So you guys troop in, and it's got giant 10-foot long spikes for teeth all the way around the thing. You're walking in. Dane and Curzon both notice that not only are they great big metal spikes, but they've also got a thread all the way up it. It looks like they sort of fold outward instead of inward, so that the whole front of this thing is going to be like zillions and zillions of these 10-foot long drill bits once the whole thing gets started off. Dane's happy.
Yeah, that's great.
And so you guys go on in, and the mouth slowly begins to close out, and then it makes this sort of zzz noise as all of those drills start, and the thing starts thumping forward and downward. So everybody make a dex check against just falling on your ass. That's the first thing that we got to do in this session.
There's no seatbelts on this thing.
Nope. It's too hardcore for seatbelts.
Absolutely.
Just the Dwosha hasn't gotten to the plane of Earth yet.
Well, totally fail with my 11.
I have a 1.
Oh.
I rolled a 16. I was born for this.
Okay.
I was too distracted looking at things.
Like these dudes.
How did you do, Emily? What did you get?
13, my lucky number.
All right. So,
I hope it's lucky in this case.
all right. So Emily and Dane are both sort of standing up, looking around, and all of a sudden, Curzum and just Steve suddenly fall to the ground and start sliding over toward where the drill teeth are going around. And they're sliding down there.
Can we grab them as they go by?
It's not a good place to be. It's very bad.
Okay, so Emily grabs.
I am not very strong, but I will.
We're gonna see who you got though, because it could have been either one of them. All right, 1 through 3, and you got Steve. Okay, so Steve starts going by, and Steve's just lying on his back, going, "Whoa!" And Emily,
this is so cool, guys.
And so Emily just sort of reaches down and holds on to Steve's arm, and so Steve just is
just kind of
lying there, looking up at the sky with one arm, being held like this. Curzum continues to slide.
About how
Can I
far
make
from me?
Wait, Gabe, what were you saying?
I was saying about how far apart is the little group from? Are we grouped up? Are we pretty spread out?
Yeah, you're grouped up because the thing started moving almost the second that you were in there. So
I'm gonna cast a spell that I haven't cast before. I'm gonna cast Arms of Hadar.
Okay.
And as it's written, the Arms of Hadar. This made sense back when I had a different patron. It's all these big tentacles come up from the ground and like grab things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But these are going to be like strands of beard.
Okay.
Are going to reach up, and really, I don't know. I mean, we can do this however you want to do it. It's really supposed to like keep people from taking reactions, and it does damage and stuff like that. But I would like these things to like these arms to just kind of hold on to people, and
let me
help
see.
them.
Let me see what
seatbelts, as it were.
Beard belts.
Beard belts.
Beard
Yeah.
belts.
Beard belts. That's interesting enough for me to look it up. Let's see if we can.
I thought you said you had no good spells. That could have been useful at least a dozen times.
Well, that's the thing is, it hits my friends whether I want it to or not.
It's not a great spell, but it's a fun spell if used, flavorfully.
Okay, so you just want a totally different version of the spell then that's based on your patron.
Instead of muscular arms, he wants soft, luxuriant beard hair.
I mean, you could have been like, this has about as much relevance to what you said as like if you'd said, I want to cast Arcane Lock, only I want to have it make a fireball.
No. They're still. I don't get me wrong. I still want them to take the 2d6 necrotic damage and not take reactions. I just also wanted to keep them from falling, and then I want to flavor it as if it's beard instead of like something else. I still want to do everything else. I just want to see if I can also use it to make them, instead of sliding it to their doom, just stay with me to their doom.
So instead of fireball, could he actually just warm the room with a large ball of fire?
I was told that old school revival type games were all about creativity. So if that's not really what we're doing here, just let me know, and I'll just.
So here's what happens. All right, you go ahead and you cast your spell, and as you say, instead of tendrils of dark energy coming out, well, hold on a second. Before I finish the sentence, let me just take a look at damage types here, just so that we can get a full.
This is where I get my alchemical ice bullshit from.
Also,
alchemical ice.
Finch, I apologize for that comment. If you need to kill me, I completely understand.
No. Where's the? No. I respect comments like that. You've. All right. What are the different kinds of damages?
There's. Necrotic Radiant Force are like the tier 2, and then there's like ice, fire, all the elementals, and then bludgeoning, piercing, slashing are the physical ones.
Okay, so I guess it's going to be just bludgeoning damage. Okay, so here is your version of Arms of Agathis, or Hadar, Hunger of Hadar, or whatever it is. So you cast the spell, and your beard forks into about 5 or 6 different long strands, which explode outward. They grab hold of Curzim and they batter the crap out of him, which means that you take 2d6 bludgeoning damage. So that's you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage. And then what was the other thing? He loses initiative or something like that.
Right?
They can't take reactions, so like they wouldn't get opportunity of attacks.
Okay. So that's basically it. It does bludgeoning rather than necrotic damage, and it's a beard instead of tentacles of force. However, the beard is so busy, it's got him by the ankles, and it's just smashing him up and down like that by the ankles. But as a result, he's not sliding, into the drill bits and all of that. He's just connected to your beard being smashed up and down against the ground like that.
It's perfect.
Okay. So with the exception of the fact that Curzim's, got a bloody nose and is now, is bruised all over, nobody has slid into the thing. So Steve's just lying on his back saying, I hear screaming.
This is like the best dream ever.
All right, and then Curzim, you're almost able to get to your feet. Eventually the worm rights itself, and you're on a basically sort of somewhat stable surface. It's still sort of moving, so everyone's being thrown one way and the other, but you're no longer sliding, and also Dane stops bashing you around with his beard.
Are there any benches or anything, or it's just an open tube?
Now that you have a chance to look around, you can see that it's got curving walls, and there are several terraces, not even terraces, but just all the way up and down, sort of like adobe houses, basically, with little holes where the little guys in the sand cloaks, a lot of them have just gone up. There are a couple of them sitting on balconies, watching Curzim getting smashed around. And then at the far end, there's also a much larger metal door that probably leads into the next segment of the worm.
I'm gonna head for the metal door.
Yeah, I'm curious what else is in here.
It's probably safer.
Okay, so you guys head from the front mouth segment of the ship. You go up to the giant metal door. It actually turns out that that's probably a cargo door. There's a much smaller door through the big one that's got a regular handle that you can turn and open. So Curzim opens that up, and on the far side of the mouth section, you now see what looks like a ship's hold. There are large metal racks all the way down in there. Each rack is probably about 10-15 feet tall, and on them are all sorts of things like petrified camels, huge blocks of wood, just all kinds of really bizarre trade goods like that. I mean, someone's got a statue of Ramesses III, things like that.
All the normal stuff. Petrified
Right.
camels.
Yep.
Well, it makes sense. I imagine petrified camels very hard to get in elemental plane of Earth.
Is there anywhere that looks like I could crawl into and comfortably sleep?
Inside the camel.
Okay, so yeah, so Backpack goes and checks the camel, but you don't think that any of the apertures would let Curzim into it, so probably not in terms of the camel. You are able to find an upside down, a small upside down hut that has chicken legs sticking up from the bottom of it.
I don't like the look of that. And I look for like the coiled rope bin and.
Okay, yeah, there is a coiled thing of rope.
Huh.
You know, I've got thunder over here at my house too. This is totally like the Russian game of who's got the best power grid.
I will sleep with the rope. I'll just like curl up in the bin of rope and
Okay.
You
Go
don't
to
you don't
sleep.
want to go into the chicken leg hut?
I'm good.
Do you not know Baba Yaga?
Maybe I do.
I mean, it looks like dead. I mean, they're real dead looking chicken
Oh.
legs.
I mean, maybe they're tasty. Can I try and gnaw on one a little bit? I mean,
This is the
it's
different
about time
party.
for a snack.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man.
Come on, Steve.
Okay, so
Oh, I'm not that kind of elf.
you're gonna gnaw on the leg of the dead Baba Yaga hut.
That is probably merchandise. Don't just be eating it. We
Oh,
are
nobody will notice.
On delivery. Hey, is some halfling been chewing on this? I'm not accepting this delivery.
I think your delivery worm has infestation of halflings.
You'll have to smoke them out.
It already does. It's got the little halflings in the sand, robes. Okay, yeah. So you take a bite of it, and it tastes like peppermint.
This is delicious.
It really is, really, really delicious. Make a DC 20 saving throw.
Uh-oh.
What kind? Con?
Oh,
Whichever's the lowest.
Wisdom.
Details.
I think
Okay.
she already failed the wisdom saving throw, though. She's chewing on a desiccated chicken leg.
I know I failed it before I did it, yeah.
Okay.
I
So
am not wise. I have a 0 bonus. But I did roll an 18, so.
okay. So you guys, once everyone but Kurzim is still sort of looking around, and you happen to glance back over at the Baba Yaga hut, and Backpack has climbed about halfway up the leg, and is just repeatedly just biting, gnawing at it, and just uncontrollably trying to eat the whole thing.
Steve, come over here. Check out how good my breath smells.
Oh,
That cannot be
little
good for
dude.
you or chicken huts. I don't.
Wow. I mean, I've seen some Mad Mungies, but that's legit. Never eaten a house high before.
This is exotic stuff. You never know what they have in all these strange parts of the world.
That's right.
Oh man,
Okay,
I think I
well-
might just take a power nap with the dwarf there. Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to
Little
go
weird for
see
me.
if. I would imagine, being who I am, the vehicle like this has little like side window for taking like core samples as it goes by or something like that. I want to go look and.
Stick out your arm.
Well, no, probably some kind of like a little scoop thing. I don't know. I want to go like this is a really, really cool transportation device. I'm gonna go see if I can learn more from little short people.
Okay, so the little short people are mostly back up in the front section. So you're gonna take a look at Backpack eating the hut.
No,
And then
I'm
just-
out. I see
And then just
backpack.
turn around and be like, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Well, no, I mean I am all about roleplay, but she's literally chewing scenery. So I think we will just go and I want to find out maybe where they're steering this thing from, or where whatever passes for helm is, and I'm going to go there check out.
Okay, so you go back over. Well, which way do you want to go? You want to keep looking further into the worm for a bridge, or go back and talk to the halfling people?
If up front they were just checking out, they were just there and not really doing anything,
Yes.
I don't really care so much. I'm gonna go keep going. I'm gonna go deeper and
Okay.
see if I can't find out where they're actually running the show.
Okay. So Steve and Kurzim. Kurzim doesn't care. He's down in his rope. Steve is looking for another thing of rope and continuing to hear the munch, munch, munch sound.
Steve can spoon me. Big spoon.
Yeah. I'm just gonna look out for like my little dwarf dude, buddy. I don't want him to get tragically destroyed or eaten
And
by a hungry,
I just
hungry
want to point out
halfling.
that Gabe is pulling the C-3PO move in Cloud City, too, for those references.
Okay. Right then.
Stormtroopers.
All right. So So what we'll have to do is we'll follow the adventures of Gabe as he continues on, and then we'll come back and find out what it is that's happened to Emily as a result of failing a saving throw, and then having everyone else just be like, "Screw it."
Wait, I failed it?
Yeah, it was DC 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It was a really spooky hut.
Don't
Honestly.
fuck with Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
You
So I
would
don't have the option at
as
this point to just
Baba Yaga.
off a couple strips of the chicken mint jerky.
no.
And-
If you
Okay.
if you didn't have bonuses, if you failed a DC 20
Yeah, no bonus.
saving throw, then you're
And I'm just
you're
okay.
uncontrollably just continuing to eat the house, and
This just proves that Emily never saw Charlie on the Chocolate Factory.
I guess not. Yeah.
Well, I was imagining, the teeth things. Like I was imagining us like floating like in the bubble room to the fans.
Right.
Yeah, because all of my Hansel and Gretel instincts would have gone off with that one, but
This is true halfling traits. They think with their stomachs, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It was the first thing I saw that seemed snackable.
Okay.
Put hair on your feet.
Alrighty.
Right.
So we'll follow Gabe's adventures in Curiosity Land first, and then we'll come back since the other two are going to sleep, basically. So Gabe, you move on to the next segment. And there are lots of warehouses and things through here. I mean, it's carrying a tremendous amount of stuff. But eventually you find an area where first there are steps leading up and steps leading up and steps leading up, and you can see that there's an area up there, and so you go up there, and there is a sort of a second level deck up there, and so you wander along the deck up there, and you get to a place where it's reverse direction. So now you've walked basically all the way back toward the front of the thing on the higher level, and you see there's this big chair in which there is a great big earth-colored guy wearing a turban, and he's got in front of him a whole lot of like a whole bank of levers, that you can pull this lever, pull that lever, push this lever, and in front of him there are two enormous circular windows through which you can see dirt, hitting the window, moving past it as the worm goes through. And there are lots and lots more of those little robed halfling-sized people who seem to be running errands back and forth. One of them will run over to him with a piece of paper, and he'll look at it and pull a lever, and then they'll run back off again. What do you do?
Well, if I'm not being too intrusive, I kind of want to watch and see, and I'm very curious about this whole thing. I want to know, like, how does he know where to go? It's just dirt through the windows. It's and if it doesn't look like I'm a problem, I might go stand near. I'm going to just call him Captain. Stand near Captain and ask him questions, because this is very interesting, and I'm sure he's not concentrating hard at all. But yeah, wow, this is really cool.
Okay, so you go up and you're standing sort of to the back of him.
I don't want to be in the way, but how is it that you know where you are going?
Okay, well, as soon as you start talking, he goes, "Ah!" and accidentally pushes a lever that wasn't the one that he intended to push. And all of the halflings around who are carrying these pieces of paper, that they've been showing to him with, stuff written on it, they just sort of stand there and look at you, in shock. And one of them puts his finger up in front of his mouth like, shh.
And it will, okay. And then I'll just go back and kind of watch. I thought for a moment we were going to do like a scene from Star Trek and like dive sideways, but no. I will just watch and observe. It is very cool.
Okay, well, I mean, lights start blinking here and there from deeply recessed hammered iron circles that they're set in, and one of the little halfling guys runs over and holds out this enormous map in front of the genie guy, and so they seem to be trying to work out how to get back to somewhere now that originally they probably thought they were headed toward. And then a voice, a very quiet voice, because you're still fairly near the captain. A voice suddenly whispers in your ear, "That was very, very stupid."
It's not the first time. My apologies. I will just stay back and be very quiet. Keep on doing a good job.
Well, it's not. This is you look around to see where the voice is coming from. It's another one of those genie things. Looks a lot like the, and says, and so it's watching. But this one, doesn't look like he's. He looks like he's a little down on his luck. I mean, he's got a turban, but it's really small, and you know, his clothes look a little bit threadbare. And
Trash genie.
Maybe so. It's trash genie. So he just says, yes, he's very, very sensitive to noise. He is. That's why everyone has papers and things like that, and they only you can only write things down to him. But so you had a question about how it works.
In retrospect, that makes sense. Oh, yes, I was just sort of curious. I've never seen a contraption like this before.
Well, it's there's not terribly many of them. They were manufactured about 40,000 years ago, I'd say. I think it was a short production run on these ones, but they've got pretty
blue book value.
Well, they've got not really. They've got good pickup, but other than that, you know, you don't. They're not so great.
I bet the gravel is hell on chassis.
That can be.
But I guess my biggest question: how does he navigate? How does he be knowing where he's going?
Well, he's a Tao, a genie of the elemental plane of Earth, the same as myself.
Oh, well, a pleasure. I am a dwarf. My name is Dane. It is good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. My name is Wazid Wazal.
Let me just write that down.
So you and your new friend Wazid Wazal go wandering around, and you go back to the deck, where now one of the legs of the hut is now completely consumed, and Backpack has got a diameter of about 8 feet at this point, and is just absolutely is round, and just little hands poking out, little feet poking out, and still trying to roll toward part of the hut, you know, to eat it. So
lunchbox, you've become a lunchbox. Wazid, do you perhaps have stomach pump or just a pin?
Well, he goes over and he picks up not 8 feet in diameter, about 4 feet in diameter. So picks up Backpack, and he says, yes, this needs a remove curse. If only there were a cleric around somewhere.
Well,
if only.
Where do you keep the ropes? Hold on. And I'm gonna dig around and try and find Kurzum.
Okay. You after a while, you're able to find Kurzum and Steve.
They're just spooning.
Yeah, they're both totally
Just
asleep.
like passed out and spooning.
Kurzum.
Completely.
Kurzum. Whap, whap, whap.
Okay, he's awake.
Do you is Muriel, our friend, good friend Muriel, has she granted you power to remove curses?
I'll have to check. I roll over and go back to sleep.
He has to check. Will she keep? Should we tie her down? Maybe somewhere not next to a house?
You're projecting the whole plot of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. She's not going to go floating around because she's big.
Well, no, I'm not worried. No, I'm not worrying about her.
She could roll away
floating
into the
around. But
plane.
yeah.
Oh,
it-
might
the
roll
ship
into
is- Yeah,
right.
she's-
Roll into
If it hard breaks, she's gonna smack him.
But no, I am almost certain that there is physics problem detailing this exact situation. Okay, assume spherical halfling, and then going. It's assume a spherical cow usually, but in this case, lunchbox. Let's go. Okay.
All right. So, Kurzim, you're.
I'm attempting to get 8 hours of sleep.
Okay, and then you will be. Will you have any sort of remove curse spell? I don't think you've got one.
It doesn't exist. No, I don't know. Let me see what I got.
It's a 5th level spell.
Yeah, you're not gonna. Okay, so right around this time, several of the little halflings come by, and they all sort of circle around where y'all are trying to hold on to backpack and stuff, and they're all shaking their heads like this.
Do they start singing?
No.
We represent.
Oh, I was.
No, I
I
think-
think more like the oompa.
Yeah, the Oompa
Yeah.
Loompa Greek chorus for
Yeah.
everybody who gets taken out in the chocolate factory. So yeah, no, they so while you guys so Dane is standing about 3 feet away from Kurzim, watching him sleep and waiting for him to wake back up again. So meanwhile, while you're not paying attention and Wazid Wazal doesn't mention it, the halflings all basically pick up backpack on their shoulders, fittingly enough, I guess, and they and disappear in this little clump of halflings with backpack on top. And then when you look back around, backpack is gone.
Oh gosh.
I'm sure they know what they're doing. What Wazid?
Hey, at least I didn't run this one over.
Wazid, where did they take my friend?
I don't know.
Well, okay. I don't mean any disrespect when I
I mean,
ask
they
you
went
this.
that way to the front.
Oh, to the front? Okay, maybe I should go check on her. I will go. I just want to make sure they don't toss her out.
Okay. All right. So you go.
Into the grinder.
They start juicing me in the grinder.
Yeah, right. Well, they are. I mean, you go over there and you find that rather than not juicing her, but they are sort of purging her in various ways. Apparently, they have a thing that's structured to do exactly that. So clearly, among their own, the lure of trying to eat the chicken legs on the hut has struck the halflings before. So they do have the machinery to handle the whole thing. But Dane, you decide very quickly you don't want to watch, and so you come back to see when Kurzim's going to wake up, and about 2 hours after that, Emily, you come back out of the front feeling no desire whatsoever to ever eat peppermint flavored chicken legs again.
Yes, no, thank you.
And let's go ahead. Oh, I was going to say we've been gaming for an hour. Let's take our break, but we haven't been gaming for an hour. We started late, so we've been gaming for 40 minutes. Okay. So Kurzim and everybody, you all wake up. I mean, you're realizing you have no idea where it is that you're supposed to stop or what it is that you're supposed to do when you get there.
Oh, I have it covered. We were supposed to stop earthquake
Right.
somewhere. One
Ukulele.
thing I can say is do not disturb the captain. He is very, very sensitive to noises.
How did you talk to him?
Once.
So how do you communicate with him?
Well, I do not. But I suppose maybe you can ask one of little people to run message. Do we know that they're halflings, or are they just like size of halflings?
They're the size of halflings. Emily knows that they're halflings, though.
Can I stop one and say, excuse me?
Yep.
Do you have a piece of paper I could use to get a note to the captain?
Wataka.
All right, thank you. And I'll hold up my hand.
Zit not Wataka.
Oh, fine. I'll take a piece of paper out of my backpack.
Okay.
Really?
It's an old habit. And I will write a note to the captain that says, please stop beneath Bukalil and provide reference to stop earthquake.
Okay. The halfling takes the sheet, snaps it, looks at it, and he goes, give me a gold piece and I'll bring it to the captain.
Oh, now he can.
Oh, sorry, Wataka.
It's like the only
after
word
that-
in common they know.
After that, he goes, After that, he goes back and continues to pretend that he doesn't speak common.
I'll give him a gold piece.
Okay. He takes the gold piece, and then runs off at little halfling speed to go deliver the note to the captain.
Is Wazim still around? Can I go ask him a question, or has he wandered off again?
No, he's there. He's smoking. He's up on one of the terraces in the little halfling town, smoking a hookah, and looking around at things. And every once in a while, he is throwing. They look like they're balled up paper, but he throws them out into the middle, and then they turn into a flying peacock, and go down like this, and then catch on fire before they hit the ground and burn up.
Well, it's pretty cool.
Remarkable.
Hey, Wazim.
Yes.
This vehicle. Well, okay. First of all, does it have a name? I've just been calling it Worm Thing.
I don't think anybody's ever given it a name.
Oh, okay.
Everyone calls it something sort of like Worm Thing.
Well, when Worm Thing arrives at various destinations, it doesn't cause earthquakes, does it? Because I want to make sure we're not under some sort of weird self-fulfilling prophecy thing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't cause earthquakes.
Like, take fastest means of transportation to stop this earthquake.
That
With
thought
this
crossed my
earthquake-
mind too.
with this earthquake machine. Okay, well that is good to know.
Do you work here, or are you just a passenger?
I'm not a messenger. I'm a Dow. I'm a
passenger.
a noble of the Dow race, and I'm definitely not a little bit down on my luck and broke.
Do you know how to stop an earthquake?
Well, what kind of earthquake? I mean,
One where the earth shakes.
you said on the elemental plane of Earth, we've got 417 different words for earthquake. There is more than one in just the earth shakes.
Can you tell what kind of earthquake is what? Like, can you tell them apart when they're coming, that sort of thing?
Sure. Can't
What
you?
about? No,
No,
not at all.
I can a little bit.
He's
we're
lost.
from the elemental plane of awesome.
No, I
And
mean you have
we only
P
know how to
waves
party.
and you have S waves, and then you just sort of see how what differences between them. You can tell kind of epicenter and maybe how deep.
All you got to be able to do is smell those S waves.
Right? That's all I am saying.
Dude, do you think we should take the little dude with us? And maybe he can smell the earthquake coming and we can stop it.
We're looking to
Oh,
stop an earthquake.
Wait. Let me. We've got one misconception here. Wazid Wazal is a Dow. He's about 10 feet tall, I think.
Big dude, turban.
Massive.
Oh,
turban.
a big
But
dude.
mangy.
I
Yeah.
thought you guys were still talking to one of the halflings.
No. This is the Dow. So yeah, he goes, well, where's the earthquake you want to stop?
It's under a town called Bukalil.
All right, well, let's go up and take a look at the captain's maps then. Come on. So
Right.
he starts over with everybody else. Anybody not following?
Where's
Okay.
the Big Stone Head in all this too, by the way?
It's following around.
All right. So
I mean,
it's
it just-
spooning. it was like the littlest spoon in our spoon triumvirate.
Actually, it seemed to be very careful not to be getting on the shelves with the merchandise, but other than that, yeah, it's been around.
Oh, it's probably like flashbacks for it.
Yeah, you have no idea what the thing's been through, to go from being a
It stares at one of the little bins for quite a long time. see one gemstone tear come out of its eye.
Oh. Well, as long as we can take backpack with us, I think we'll follow him.
Now, do you guys also you also managed to get the Teminoan piece of machinery with you, right? Didn't
That was unclear.
Yeah, we were going to ask you about that.
We got it to the top of the chimney.
Okay.
And I
That's
think
as far as
we
we
kind of
know.
like rushed to the end. And I don't remember.
Okay, well, you would be able to figure out ways of getting that out. You got it to the top, so
All right.
it went
Awesome.
along with you. So that's also there. Nobody's moved it, so it's still up in the front with all of the halfling stuff.
Well,
So you all go up to the captain's area. And when you get up there, there's all of the halflings that are running back and forth with paper. And Wazid picks up one of the halflings and sort of points and then does some sign language, and then it sort of shakes its head like that. He hits it like this, and then puts it back down again. And it runs over, gets a map off of the captain's sort of desk, and runs it back over. And Wazid opens out the map, and he looks on it, and he finds the village that you guys are talking about. And he says, "Oh, all right. Well, okay. I got your. I know what your problem is here. This village is supported by bones of the earth that go up to an area where there's a swamping problem because the plane of earth there's water coming in from the elemental plane of water into the plane of earth, which is causing a swamp in that area. And so a lot of the supports are sort of sinking a little bit, and that would be causing earthquakes. So what you need to do is you need to ask the captain to take the ship to Dusty Hollow is what you need.
And do we plug up the leak there, or would that solve the problem?
That would be, that would be one of the ways to solve it, or else stabilize whatever bone of the earth it is that's holding your particular place. But stopping the leak would probably be the thing to do.
Sound advice.
Okay, let's go ahead and take our break at that point then. We'll
Okay.
be back in 10.
feel like we don't get enough break time talking because Zach's not here. So in honor of him, let's see here. I'm not sure how many of you have picked up Frostbitten and Mutilated. Pretty good book. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. I will say, I'm looking for it now. One of my favorite parts was page 34. You can see that. The avalanche. He did something really cool with this, and he treated an avalanche like a monster. So he treated it like a hit dice 10 monster that constantly loses hit points as it goes farther and farther down. Thought it was really cool. Really, it's an interesting way to look at that, and it has like some special abilities about how it does that, but it's, you know, and it's got an attack, so it's gonna trip you or it's gonna engulf you. But really, really cool idea about how to deal with an environmental hazard, and actually treat it like a monster encounter. So really, really neat idea. I definitely will be borrowing that idea with other physical encounters as we go on. But one of my favorite parts of this book that I spotted, and really super clever. But hopefully, I recommend you grab it if you haven't. It's a good one.
It looks really cool. I kind of regret not picking it up when I had the chance.
I love he always does the I search the body charts. A couple of people have done really good ones. Zach Glazer does in some of his adventures. He's only done a couple, but there's really awesome like body searching charts in that one. And Zach Smith. So I guess it's anybody named Zach does really cool body searching charts. Everyone else doesn't. I don't know. I like the random looting stuff. But everybody likes to randomly loot.
Are you doing a review on something?
I was just talking about the Frostbitten and Mutilated.
Oh, uh-huh.
I don't know. So I was just saying, since as a little, Zach usually fills this time with chatting, so I figured I'd add something.
And the art of that book is just super cool because it's Zach's stuff.
Yeah,
so.
well, and there's a couple other cool things he did too, which is the map. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but it's literally like each of those boxes is like something you'll encounter there, which is kind of neat. So you're like, oh, where are they? And you can look and literally see what's going on there.
Yeah, I still haven't ordered my physical copy of it.
Well, I was saying too, my favorite, he treated the avalanche as, like environmental encounter. All of us have done something goofy with that in a wilderness adventure. He treated it like a 10 hit dice monster that just constantly loses hit points as it moves until it's out of hit points and it's just dead or dispersed. But it was just a really, really clever take on an environmental hazard like that I was really impressed with. It was because it works so well. Was
that book? That wasn't an 8.5 by 11 book though. It's smaller than that.
No, right? No, it's digest sized.
Yeah, okay.
All the Flame Princess stuff is digest sized.
No, I knew that. That was why I was surprised. But it was just when you held it up to the camera,
No, it's. I have huge hands. Like
okay, that's
12-inch hands. No,
I'm not even gonna. Not even.
You know what they say about men with huge hands? They have to buy huge gloves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody ready?
Thanks for being there with me, Ian. Right there.
Okay, everyone ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready.
So you guys go up to the captain, and he sees the note about Dusty Hollow, and he sort of nods his head and moves a bunch of levers. And about an hour later, suddenly the ship starts to surface. Everybody make a DC 15 saving throw versus falling over. Not a saving throw; it's a dex check. Acrobatics applies.
Another one.
Okay. All right. So Kurzim, once again, he topples over backwards and begins sliding headfirst over toward the stairs. Anybody who made a saving throw can reach out and grab him.
Nah.
I rolled the exact same thing I did last time, so I will again reach out and grab him.
Okay, so the beard goes out. Gets
Wait.
him, smashes him against the ground.
Oh,
He takes 8 hit points of damage,
Bitch.
and is rescued.
It's gonna rescue them the traditional way, but that works too.
Yep. So the grinding stops, and the worm levels out again, and a giant ramp starts to open from the ceiling, and it comes down, and it's got sort of Aztec ziggurat style steps made out of metal, going up to the top of the worm. And the captain gets up from the chair, and he shakes his head as if he doesn't know what's going on, and starts walking up the stairs. What do you do?
Is Wazid with us?
Yeah.
Wazid, are you interested in employment?
Could be. Let's don't know what it is that we'd trade, but
What do you?
as I said, I'm not, and it's not that I'm down on my luck. Understand?
No. I need someone of your skill set.
Okay, well that's good. I like helping people out, for reasonable compensation, of course, and so that would be something that we could definitely think about. Right now, why don't we go up the stairs, because I've never actually seen those open before, and I don't know why they're open.
All right. Well, I'd rather stay in here, but all right, let's go.
Well, you can stay in here too. I'll go up and see. So he goes up with the captain. Anybody going up the stairs?
Yep.
If they'll let us, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Steve's really the only person who can take the steps easily. Everybody else has to kind of, they're really, really big. So everybody, a backpack can't do it without actually climbing, and the dwarves have to jump up and boost themselves up and kick a leg over and get up to the next one on their own. Steve sort of hops from
Get on my back, little backpack dude.
I'm gonna hop up onto Steve's back.
Okay, so you guys make your way up the stairs with Steve helping backpack, and you get up to the top. And what you realize you're in another plane of existence. You're looking out. Off to your left, there's this a tremendously high range of mountains. I mean, just they go ridiculously high up, and the air looks a little bit brownish, mossy, almost earthy type of air, if you can picture that. And then the mountains, but there is a swamp extending as far as the eye can see, that comes up to the edge of the mountains, where clearly some water source is waterlogging the elemental plane of earth, and you've got a sort of area that's a mix of water and earth, leading you to have a swamp. And out of that, there are several jagged upthrust spines of rock that are related to the mountains. They're not like sunken mountains or anything like that. But so you've got this swamp that's filled with weird looking trees. There's moss hanging down from them. There are these spikes of rock. And so the captain's looking out over this, and he's just shaking his head.
I'm going to just make like I'm going to shrug and look at him, because I know he doesn't like talking.
So yeah, Wazal goes over to the captain, and he does this sort of sign languagey thing, which is obviously some sort of genie communication, because the captain immediately signs back, and Wazid says, he says we can't get all the way to Dusty Hollow because of the swamp.
I take it the worm can't swim.
And the captain goes back. He goes, he says that we could. It's not rigged for swamp travel. That would take a day and a half.
Well, does he have a boat he could let us borrow since he can't get us to where we were supposed to go?
He says you haven't even paid for how far you've gotten.
We were hoping he would forget about that.
I gave gold to one of those halflings.
Well, how much is owed for our fare?
Okay. He makes signs back at the captain. The captain signs back. The captain says 7.5 chickens.
7.5 chickens.
Oh, would
Can they be
you
practice chickens?
Sorry, Emily?
Can they be practice chickens?
Practice chickens.
Yes.
Captain wants to know what is a practice chicken.
Well, you know.
Eggs. They haven't hatched yet.
There you go. Eggs.
The captain says that he will accept 15 eggs at a rate of 1/2 chicken per egg.
Hey, Backpack, have you eaten all those eggs?
All those eggs. Well, let's see. What eggs do we have?
I'm understanding that we cannot go to. And again, this is towards Wazim. We cannot go to Dry Hollow or whatever name of place was because it is too damp.
Yes.
The direction we're going. Just to be clear, there isn't any way we can go like around swamp and come back from other side. This is damp.
I don't even need to ask the captain. I can tell that going around it, you'd end up in the elemental plane of water.
Okay, that makes sense. In what? So you say it takes a day or so to refit worm thing to go through swamp?
Yes.
How long you think it takes to just like hike it or maybe take boat?
Well, he opens the map again, and he looks at it and he says, "Well, it's probably about a 2-day walk to Dusty Hollow from here."
Okay.
Does the captain have any interest in trading instead of 7.5 chickens, a lucky boot? And I'll remove a small boot from my pack and show it to him.
Wait, I thought Steve had all of the dead halfling stuff.
Steve has the tiny conical cap.
No,
and the boots. Yeah, I took the boots too to add it to the collection.
He does have the collection.
There's only one boot though.
That's where we got both boots.
No, it's only one.
It's only one now.
That's exactly what he's saying. Is that he's saying you only got one and he's got the other.
Wait a second. My monkey head is missing a boot.
Oh, the captain sees the monkey head and he sits up and starts signing rapidly over to Wazid. And Wazid says the captain says that he'll rig the worm thing for swamp travel and take you there in exchange for the monkey head.
Monkey head's quite valuable.
Yeah, this is like super precious in our lands.
Okay.
And rare.
Very rare. Takes a very refined skill, man, to make something this pure and magical.
I'm going to whisper to Cruzim and be like, honestly, I think that's a very good trade. It's starting to get to very good. Like, I like this plan. It is 2 birds, one worm-shaped stone creature. It gets rid of stupid monkey head and also gets us where we need to be.
I'll say to Wazid, we'd also need 4 doses of something that could let us breathe underwater.
Yeah, he sort of strokes his beard like this. Wazid says, the captain says he has such a thing, but you would need to throw a chicken into the deal as well.
I think we have any chickens.
We don't have any chickens.
No.
Are you guys
do you
into
say that out-
opium?
I have a plan.
I will throw in a
boy.
healing potion.
He doesn't look interested in the healing potion.
I've got opium. I've got magic mushroom extract.
We
I've got
we can
actual
throw
magic
in-
mushrooms.
We can throw in the head and its accessories, the boots and the hat.
You don't want to have an underdressed monkey hat, man. It's bad luck.
So this is- okay, Captain wants half the healing potion, the hat, the little shoes, and the shrunken head.
Half the healing potion.
Seems fair to me.
You drive a very hard bargain. I have many little children that will not be getting any healing potion because of this deal.
Okay,
But
so-
because I like you so much, yes, half of healing potion.
okay. So the captain pours out half the healing potion into a little thing, which effectively renders your healing potion worthless.
Yes, well,
I just pours half on the floor and then takes the remaining half.
May as well have.
For the homies.
So he holds out his hand to get the so-called shrunken monkey head, and the hat and the boots.
Steve like morosely unclips it from his armor and hands it over. Miss you, little buddy. You're the best friend I ever had.
Okay, so then the captain gives lots of orders, and the halflings start running around all over the place, and they're taking out these massive metal struts, and they're putting them. They like pull out a wheel assembly from the side, and then they're putting the struts into the wheel thing. They drive the worm forward a little bit, get the struts in there. So eventually, the worm thing is now supported on 8 giant wheels with spokes, but no hub around the wheel. And so those begin to turn. The captain goes back down into the bottom to make it work. And so now it's sort of using those things as legs and poling itself forward. It starts sort of thumping into the swamp. And so there's splashing. And so you're driving through the swamp, and in front of you, every once in a while, it's crushing a tree over as it's going by. You see a few very unpleasant looking things out there as you are going through. For example, you see one thing that looks kind of like a manta ray, and it's going along, and then there's this deer-like thing that's running away, and the manta ray suddenly contracts into a shark and eats the deer, and then flattens back out into the manta ray and keeps going along like that. So that's one of the things that you see.
does it have like a little deer-shaped like bubble in it?
It's got like a lump in the middle of it, yeah,
Nice.
kind of like the way with a snake. When a snake eats a mouse, and it's got a lump in there for a while. So it's got that. You see several things that are obviously shambling mounds going slowly away from the enormous 100-foot long metal worm that's forcing its way into the swamp. And after about a day, you arrive at a place where the swamp, there's icky bubbles, popping out of the brownish mix of mud and water and earth that's around here. And this place looks like it's stone buildings that look like they were organically grown from the rock, but they've been built up on several stone pilings in order to not be half submerged. Some of them are tilted to the side. And so this really, really weirdly dilapidated, half-flooded looking stone village. And the people that are in the village are, they're round, and they have 3 legs at the bottom, 3 arms around the top, a mouth in the top of them, and they look like they're made out of stone, except that they're moving around, and one of them waves to you guys at the top of the ship.
I wave back.
Welcome to Dusty Hollow.
Why, thank you.
Hello.
Whoa. You guys are some cool looking dudes.
Oh, thank you. So, y'all gonna stay a spell? We've got a nice inn.
Yeah, could you point us in the direction?
Yeah, he points and so there's one of the buildings is it's one of the ones that's tilted at a 45-degree angle, and that's the one that he points to, and so you guys go ahead and disembark. I mean, they put a ramp down.
Did you want to come with us?
I don't really see any benefit to it on my side, but I wish you luck.
All right.
All right, so you guys go down the ramp?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the bottom of the ramp, I'd like to turn to Steve and say, Steve, I'm really sorry you lost your head, and hold out a Steve doll to her.
A what?
A Steve doll. I have a little figurine for everybody in the party except the halfling.
That's right, you do. Okay, so you've got a wooden figure of Steve.
Yeah. I want you to have this.
I forgot about that.
That's I don't know how to feel about this, man. Are you sure you don't want to keep it for when you get lonely at night?
Would you prefer a Dane or an Albrecht? I'll hold those two up.
Oh man, do I have to choose now? Because this is the hardest decision of my life.
Well, just hold both of them, and I'll give them both to you.
Oh man.
All right, so you got an
These
Albrecht
are
and a Steve.
great. Now, just the dwarves. Steve doesn't need a figure of himself, but he has a figure of the two dwarves.
Oh, okay. So you've got
Albrecht and Dane.
Albrecht and Dane.
Yeah,
Okay.
Albrecht and Dane.
I feel a little bit unclean. I don't. Okay.
You're the best ranger. You're the greatest friend we've ever had.
Oh, the inevitable betrayal.
Nice.
You can hide the Albrecht one. Where is he? Oh, he's in this chest.
Oh no! Yeah, that's basically what Steve is going to do for the remainder of the session is just play with the dolls.
Okay.
Dane is just going to give Curzon this look like, why would you do this? I don't understand.
It was the right thing to do.
He is going to be coming up with stories and confusing reality with fantasy and fantasy with fantasy, and it's just going to be very confusing for everybody involved.
You are too concerned with reality, Dane, my friend.
Well, this is fact.
Okay, so Ian, are you trying to talk and your mic is muted? Because we can't hear you.
I just had nothing to say there. I was
Okay.
Stumped.
I got nothing. Yeah.
You've done you've done enough. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so you guys begin splashing through the swamp. Once again, Backpack needs a little bit of help because of the depth of it. Steve is very busy with the action figures, and so Dane, you help Backpack as best you can, given the fact that you're knee deep in it yourself. But Backpack was like almost up to the waist. So
tell you what, it's no problem. I feel like I've been knee deep in it since I joined this party. That's the thing that I do.
So when I climb on him, does he sink a little deper?
No. It's,
okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. No, you're itty bitty. So, so you get to the stairs, going up to the inn. You go up the stairs, and so the inside is another one of the people, the rock people with the 3 arms and the 3 legs and the mouth at the top. And this one is wearing an apron, and it says, "Welcome to Dusty Hollow."
Thank you.
Staying long? We don't see visitors in these parts very much anymore.
We were just here to try to staunch the flow of water if possible.
Really? Well, that'd be fantastic. Get those sons of bitches all killed or something.
It would make the town name make a bit more sense as well. About how long has water been encroaching upon Dusty Hollow?
1,000 years, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But like
So-
more recent, or like is there more water, or has it always been kind of like muddy?
Oh no, it's I mean, it used to be completely, native elemental plane of Earth, no problems, and then all of a sudden, somebody in the elemental plane of water over there, and he points, and there's these great big ice mountains over on that side. Diverted a river or something like that, and that's when the whole area started, turning into swamp, and we can't get to the bones out there to keep them in good repair. So the Sultan, isn't paying us anymore. We're all pretty much out of work, and then we've got the scabs working over there at the river mouth, who are basically, they used to be us. Now they're mud guppies, and they're sold out, and they're working for the man.
Why did they divert the river?
No, the mud guppies didn't. Somebody in the elemental plane of Earth, elemental plane of water did. Don't know who.
Sounds
Don't know
like
why?
a kind of border dispute. I would imagine elemental plane of Earth, elemental plane of water is how like one side claims more land, or not land, is case may be. You divert streams. It sounds like border dispute.
Could be, or somebody accidentally diverted a river, I guess. I don't know. We don't really, nobody tells us anything. We're just here, repairing the bone work. Well, while we still had jobs.
Or not, as case may be.
Right, exactly. Problem is, you just can't get to the parts of it that aren't working if there's all the mud in the way. You gotta, it's easy, get through rock, no problem. Zoom, there you are. Get it fixed, no problem. But all this water, you can't get through it.
What if we could get you a way to breathe water, or like, is there a way that we could make like stopgap solution in meantime to fix bones without having to actually like massive geomorphological changes?
It's not breathing the water that's the problem. You can't get through it. It's it's like a wall. Look, he jumps off the edge of the inn, and he lands on the mud like it's a solid surface, and bounces and goes, "Ow!" See?
And is a distinct difference where, like, as we sunk in, he will not sink in at all.
Right. He hit it. You were splashing through it like it's ordinary mud, and he hit it like it was solid marble.
Do you have any vehicles?
No. What would we need vehicles for?
I don't know. I just wanted to be able to walk on top of it like that to get to the towards those ice mountains and try to divert the river again.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
So can you walk on it like that?
Yeah.
Are you able to carry us?
Well, we don't, he gets up and he walks back toward you guys, and you realize what the problem is that they've got these itty bitty little stumpy 3 legs. And so, the speed at which he walks is like incredibly, incredibly slow. And he also seems to be sort of sliding around on the surface. So it takes him a long, long time to get up there. So he's like, yeah, we could, but I don't think we'd move as fast as you guys would going through it.
Who were the mud guppies working for?
Now, I don't know. They've got some sort of a water wheel that's set up over there, and there's a manufacturing plant. You know,
What
those
do they
of us
manufacture?
something having to do with ice logs. They float the ice logs down the river, and then they do something with them over there at the
And
factory.
and this is the newly diverted part of the river that they're using?
Yeah.
All right. Do you know, you don't have a map or anything. Where was the river before?
That we don't know. It used to be entirely inside the elemental plane of water.
All right.
I mean, we can draw you a map. We're all, engineers.
That'd be great.
Okay. So they draw you a map, and he marks 4 different locations and says, okay, these are bone struts that normally we would be keeping in good repair. He draws mountains on one side of the swamp, and he's like, okay, there's elemental plane of earth. Draws a swamp, and then on the other side, he's like, okay, here's where the river comes in, and on this side is the elemental plane of water. It's ice mountains over there. And he says, so what happened is that at one point, all of a sudden, a river outlet appears. Somebody diverted a river inside the an ice river, so that the water, the melt water now comes down into what used to be the just pure elemental plane of earth.
So how could the river be diverted from there away from here to stop the mud? Could you sketch in what you wanted on that map?
It would need, any diversion of the river would have to be done inside the elemental plane of water, if I understand the question right.
So the river can't be in here at all for you guys to be successful?
Right, it's the water that's the problem.
Is there any point where this mud turns to pure water? Where can you show us where that line would be?
That line would be back where it goes back into the elemental plane of water. I mean, it's so. So I mean that would be the definable boundary with the elemental plane of water. And so yeah, he can draw that in.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And can we see where? So the river comes just right out of those ice mountains?
Yeah.
So hypothetically, if we were to divert the river so that it was no longer in Earth people territory, how long do you think it would take water to drain away to the point where you could fix bones? Like
half
a long
an hour.
time, or oh, so pretty quick then. It's okay. Okay.
All right.
Which to Dane that makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, it's impossible volumetrically.
Seems really fast.
Yeah, you know that can't possibly be right, and then you're like, okay, except that it's maybe elemental stuff going on. So
really high permeability. I suppose this could work.
So,
it seems.
Do you know the name of the guy who's running that factory?
He thinks for a moment. I don't know the name of the person who's running the factory. That's one of the mud guppies, probably. I know that they're working for a demon called Thricebacks.
Thricebacks?
Yes.
All right. Is the demon at the factory?
Sometimes, but usually not.
Oh, that's great news.
Like a CEO.
I told you they went to work for the man, sold out, decided that they weren't going to be, creatures of the pure elemental plane of earth anymore, took on aspects of water, clumped up into mud, swam their asses right over to where the work was.
All right. I'm gonna need a couple minutes.
Because they used to be Xorn like us. I mean, they even But anyway.
So do they look like you?
Yeah, except
Yeah.
like they're made out of mud.
Oh, so their forms changed when they started working for the man.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
How bizarre. How bizarre.
Can I find a flat spot where I could do some writing?
Yeah,
Everything's
eventually.
gushy.
It takes you. I mean, there's no ground. The building is canted over at a 45-degree angle.
I'll ask this guy. Hey, is there a building that is not crooked that I could write something in? I need a flat table so I can
Why
write.
don't you have him bend over and write on his back?
He doesn't have a back.
Some kind of stone surface?
But it's a 45-degree angle, so you could actually write on his side, and it would be just like his back. All you have to do is stand lower down. You know what? You're able to figure out the physics of the whole thing to a way where you can manage to write in a 45-degree angle building.
Only we had the architect.
I know.
All the time.
We might never leave here. I would like to make an official looking document that says urgent collapse ice above river to block river, and then sign it thrice backs and put like some sort of official looking seal on it if I can.
Ooh, I am skilled in forgery. If you need some help with that.
Would you like to help me? Go ahead.
I would surely like to help you.
Okay.
I even have the signet of a renowned duke, if you would need that.
Wow.
Can't hurt.
So you put signet stamps all over the thing.
Yeah, like 20 or 30 of them.
Whoa, this looks like super authentic, man. Can you tell it apart, little Albrecht? No, I can't.
It looks just like my letter of introduction.
Oh, man, that is so amazing.
I'm going to make you a tiny letter of introduction.
Oh, dude, Tiny Albrecht would love that.
All right.
So you guys are done, and you have produced an incredibly fancy document mixing in both halfling and dwarven aesthetics, a large number, copious use of the Duke's signet ring, and so you've put all that together. Now, what are you gonna do with it?
I think we got to bring it to the factory and convince them that to close up that river by collapsing ice in front of it.
Okay, that will be next week's adventure then.
Excellent plan.
All right.
Fantastic.
If we're lucky, we'll have our architect for that plan too. So we'll go totally like belly up.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, right. Zach will be here. What could possibly go wrong?
How
Oh,
is this possible?
Dean.
Glaciers don't even have balls. What?
What?
I said, how is this possible? Glaciers don't even have balls.
Oh, trust me. If anybody were to find them, it'd be Albrecht. But in case we don't have them, we'll have to settle for tiny dude Albrecht. And all of our bad decisions are going to come out of like the puppet.
Tiny Albrecht says that he thinks that we ought to.
That's great.
All right, everyone. Well, for those of you who are out there in the audience, thank you very much for watching. We're going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. So we will see you guys next week for Heroes of Jordoba.